Myself, Niyati Chauhan, Assistant Professor at LG Institute of Engineering and Technology, Department of Instrumentation and Control. Our subject is Industrial Data Communication and Distributed Control System. Chapter 3, Software Configuration. Software is dividing into parts. First, system software and second, application software. In last lecture, we have discussed about system software. We know that system software have three parts. First, real-time operating system, then communication software and process-oriented languages. In last lecture, we have discussed about real-time operating system. In today's session, I will start from communication software. Communication software is aimed at data transfer between individual system or database parts. So for communication, we are using communication software. The transfer takes place on buses and local control network available in the system. For communication, here we are using buses and local area network. Communication software is an application or program designed to pass information from one system to another system. Such software provides remote access to system and transmit files in multitude of formats between computers. So for communication, software provide remote access to system and transmit file a multitude of format between computers. Communication software forms a part of communication system with software components classified according to function within Open System Interconnection Model, that is OSI model. So for communication, here we are using OSI model. The best defined example of communication software are File Transfer Protocol (FTP), messaging software and email. So we know that we are sending our message in form of text message, in form of mail. Okay, so here discussed about how to communicate with our system, right? So for file transfer, we are using File Transfer Protocol (FTP). Next is third part of system software, that is process oriented languages. So here you can see one graph. On y-axis we are taking year and on x-axis we are taking programming languages, right? So we know that in earlier years we are using Fortran language, right? Then after modified Fortran language, and in 1965 basic language introduced in our system. Then after next is Algol language, right, and modified Algol language. Then after we get Perl language. Then after next you can see we have modified our all languages, right? Then we get Pascal, C languages. Okay, you can see in our graph. And in 1985, last introduced Modula 2, which is introduced in 1985. So this is the evolution of our programming languages. Process-oriented languages are divided in two parts. First, high-level programming languages, and second, process-oriented programming languages. So in high-level programming language, we are considering Fortran. Fortran is a programming language widely used for scientific computations. It was first high-level programming language. So here we want to find out summation of 1 to 100 number. So integer, that is I, then after sum we want to do summation. So I comma sum. Then in second row sum is equal to 0. Then after next do I is equal to 1 comma 100. Okay. Then after sum is equal to sum plus I, and here we want to do summation of 6 comma 2 in bracket closed, then after sum, right? And we know that 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. Then next command format comma 1x, x is our any number, comma I into 5 and bracket closed. Then after stop and last comment, that is end. So this is a simple program of Fortran language. Fortran is a problem-oriented programming language. Another language is basic language, and it is an interpreter type language. In earlier year, we are using Fortran language. Then after modified Fortran language, and next language, that is basic language, and which is introduced in 1965. And then after Pascal is block structure language and designed originally for teaching purpose. Next is process-oriented programming language. The main characteristic of process-oriented language is their multitasking capability. So, two types of language are used in process control. First, ADA, and second, PAIR. A program module in PAIR contains a system part and problem part or both. For software structuring the task, procedure and begin and block are used. Okay, so here in process oriented language we are using begin and end block. So PAIR compiler can process a variety of data types like fixed, integer, float, bit and character, or character CHAR. Then clock and duration. So here we have taken one example, task statement like at 10 activate task. Then second line, after 20 seconds activate task. So this type of format we are using in PAIR language. So programming language of available in BCCS, that is Fortran and Basic and Pascal. Mostly we are using Fortran, and in earlier years we are using Fortran. Then after introduced to Basic, and nowadays we are using Pascal in programming language of BCCS. Then second part of system software, that is application software. So here discussed about application software. Here you can see complex task process are available in unit process and application software dividing here in three parts: unit process, field control station and operators station. Because we are transferring our data one level to another level, so we have to install software in our system. So unit process to data transfer to field control station. In field control station, you can see functional module are available and sequential tables are also available. Function module for data transferring and sequential table here we are using for our logic development. Data buffer to data sent to the function module and sequence table. In detail, sequence table we are discussing in next slide. So, data buffer to we have a transfer data in function module and sequence table. Then after data sent to the operators station, right? So, data received by operations station. Transferred data gathering to process data file. Then after data load and data load to the we are data sending to the main machine interface, face management and file management, and then after batch report are available. So this is the general structure of application software. Next is sequential table. Okay. Here we have discussed about sequential table. So let's see in detail sequential table. In sequential table, vertical introduced as a line, then horizontal introduced as a row. Then here you can see at top side table number, and in second column rule number is available. Below table number symbols are available. Then after below rule number step numbers are available. Then in table number condition signals are available and which are 32 bits, and in rule number condition rule available. Then action signal and then after action rule. So all logic developed in sequential table. So here you can see example of pulling process. Here push button 1 for starting our system. Then after var 1, when 10 is empty, at that time var 1 will be open, and for low level alarm available here, and for high level alarm is available. And this is var 2 for pulling process, and here TA for temperature alarm. Then after var 3 for next process. Okay. So when our 10 empty, at that time start push button 1, then open var 1, and then after var 2 open for our cooling system. When tank fill up to high level, at that time var 1 closed and var 2 also closed. Var 3 open for next process. Okay, so this is a continuous process for cooling. Let's see sequential flow chart. So first write down start, then after start push button 1. If tank empty, okay, then after close valve 3 and open valve 1. Is tank full? Okay. Then close valve 1 and open valve 2. Then if our liquid cool down, right? Then after close valve 2 and open valve 3, and is tank empty, then close valve 3. So this is a closed loop system, and it's called sequential flowchart. We are using in programming. Thank you for watching video. If you have any query in this session, then you can ask me.